What is going on, people? It is the Witch Doctor, and today I'm showing you my take on the Golurk and Evolution deck. So when I was looking at it, I thought the concept of the deck was so cool, giving your Pokemon multiple types in just one Pokemon to be able to hit a lot of other of your opponent's Pokemon super effectively. So the main card we're focusing around is Golurk. I for some reason I always forget the name of this little thing right here, like bandit ring stuff, or like, because they have Omega, Delta, and Alpha. I don't know why I said it in that order, but this is something, I forgot the name of this. I'll look it up later, but it always slips my mind. But it's an additional little ability that they give to the Pokemon, which Golurk has: prevent all effects of your opponent's Pokemon's abilities done to this Pokemon, which is actually pretty good. And on top of that, Golurk has an additional ability called Double Type. As long as this Pokemon is in play, it is a Psychic and Fighting type Pokemon. So that gives Golurk a really good advantage against other Pokemon because he is two types in one instead of just being Psychic. So his attack is Super Power for 80 damage for 4 colorless energies, which is a lot. I'm not gonna lie, that's a lot. You may do 40 more damage. If you do, this Pokemon does 20 to itself. I don't like that drawback too much, but it is nice to get some crucial knockouts, so it's not too bad. One card I definitely recommend running in this deck, because I was looking at a lot of other deck profiles and like people who were running this deck and what their deck list was, and I decided, you know, Dimension Valley is definitely something that should be run all the time in this deck. It doesn't have to be run all the time, but I like it because each Psychic Pokemon attack, both yours and your opponent's, cost 1 colorless energy less, and both Golett and Golurk attacks are both colorless. So Superpower would only have to take up to 3 energy instead of 4, which is actually really nice. So we run 4-4 in the deck. I like that line. 4 is, you can get away with a 4-3 line, but I like it like that. So we run 4 Eevee and 1 of each Eevee evolution. So we have Jolteon here with its ability. I'll just say right now, each of their abilities give you an additional type. So Jolteon here gives us each of your stage 1 Pokemon in play are electric type now. So Golurk is now Psychic, Fighting, and Electric. And it has 0 retreat, which is actually really nice too. On to Vaporeon. Now we would also be including water type to our types. And with Flareon, we will be including fire as well. So potentially Golurk can be 5 types at once, which is amazing because you still only have the weakness of Golurk and its resistance. So you do not take the additional weaknesses with being that type. So it's really nice. As I was looking at the deck though, these are the only Pokemon that you ran in the deck. And basically Golurk was your primary attacker. I didn't like that. I think it's cool that I know he's supposed to be your primary attacker, but I thought that there was something that needed to be done. Like I wanted something additional. So I was like, what else do I need? I want another fast attacker, something that won't leave me stranded and I need something to set up quick with. Something that won't leave me stranded in case Golurk can't get going. Well, Lugia EX was definitely the first thing that came to mind. I don't have a Mewtwo anymore, which I think Mewtwo is being rotated out anyways. So it's essentially a Mewtwo because Arrow Ball does 20 damage times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon for just 2 colorless energy. And right there, I already have my Mewtwo replacement. Plus, this also allows me to hit Rayquaza for super effective damage. I believe that Rayquaza is weak to like Dragon or like, you know, normal, which is this, or electric, which I don't remember, but either way we have the typing to cover it if it is colorless or electric with Golurk. So, and like I was saying, Dimension Valley is definitely something to run at 4. I like it. And let's just get the energy out the way. I run 4 colorless energy and 6 psychic energy. I actually saw a lot of people with this energy lineup, which I agree with because it's actually pretty nice. You can probably get away with only running 5 psychic energy and putting in something else. I guess you could add like one of those special psychic energies that are going around, but I haven't read what they do. So either way, Let's get into the supporters because I do not run the. I'm not planning on playing expanded play. I don't want to. I rather be in the current meta is what I like. So I run 2 Lysanders, which is probably like my favorite supporter in the deck, to bring in things that are trying to run away from you or things you would like to get out right away. So Lysander is definitely a nice one to have. Professor Birch's Observation, I like this card too because it doesn't discard your hand. You have a potential of drawing 7 or even 4, so it doesn't limit you too bad. So I run 2 of those, which I actually really like. For Professor Sycamore, it's just I have different ones, which is pretty dumb. Anyways, yeah, those are the supporters in the deck. It's not that many, so it's not too bad. Let's get into the item cards now. To help out Lugia and Golurk is a Muscle Band, which gives us 20 more additional damage to our attacks, which is actually really nice. So with Muscle Band alone, you would go up to 100 damage, and for the most part, you're trying to hit things super effectively with Golurk. So if you're hitting things super effectively, you're pretty much knocking everything out in one hit, excluding Mega Evolutions because their HP are super high, and Whale Lord. So you would be doing 200 damage to something that's, you know, well, without doing the adding 40 to the thing, but you're doing 200 to anything super effectively. And if you did add the 40 more, if you need to against like Mega Pokemon or Whale Lord, you can do 280, or I don't remember how much, if Golurk is weak to grass or electric, so I forget. But anyways, yes, that is what Golurk can do, which is very scary. And 130 HP isn't too bad for a stage 1, actually, so that's really nice. So let's get into the items now. I digress. We were just talking about Muscle Bands. I run 4 of those. I run 1 Acrobike because it allows me to like thin out my deck to draw into things that I actually need. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put one of them into your hand and discard the other one. So this is a good example of, in case of certain matchups, like if you're facing an Yveltal deck and you know you don't need a Flareon or Vaporeon, but you need a Jolteon to do super effective damage to an Yveltal EX. So you could discard, you can grab the Jolteon if you flip Jolteon and Vaporeon, and you can get the Jolteon, discard Vaporeon because you won't need it. Or also here we run 4 Ultra Balls. You can discard a Flareon and a Vaporeon if you don't need it and got a Jolteon, and vice versa for whatever you need. It's very versatile, which I actually really like. It gives you you can go into a lot of matchups with a lot of confidence, knowing that you can hit a lot of the mons that they probably have super effectively and do massive damage. So since Golurk has a very heavy retreat cost, Switch is definitely a card to have in the deck, which I have 3 of because I don't need 4. I don't see why I would need to run 4. I mean, granted, Lugia and Golurk have kind of high retreat, but it's not too bad. Plus, Jolteon has 0 retreat, so I could go into that in case anything happens. So, yeah. Anyways, back to the trainers. 3 level balls to search out my Golett and Evolution and Eevee. 1 Professor's Letter to get some psychic energy and also to help deck thin out as well. 1 Startling Megaphone to help me deal with Pokemon tools that I don't want to deal with, and it can discard multiple ones at once. Now, unfortunately, I run 1. I was thinking about running 2, but I don't know exactly how Pokemon tools are right now, so 1's fine. And I have 2 interesting cards in the deck. Now, I actually been seeing quite a few people run Sacred Ash, which I actually really like the concept of, because shuffle 5 Pokemon from your discard pile back into your deck. So it allows you to Ultra Ball, because we don't run that many energy to Ultra Ball and stuff like, and other items to do that as well. So Sacred Ash allows you to discard Pokemon and put them back into your deck, which is actually very nice because we have means of searching them back again. So it's really good. 3 Versus Seeker. I actually really like this card as well. Puts a supporter from your discard pile back into your hand. I will be using this a lot on Lysander because Professor Birch. I like both of these cards a lot. I don't know why, but I do. Lysander, I know why I like Lysander, but Professor Birch is, it's just a weird card. Like, and I like the artwork on it too. But Lysander is such a good card, I can't stress it, because he could bring in something that your opponent doesn't want to bring in just yet. Maybe bring in something that takes a while to set up and just start going to town on those Pokemon. It's such a good card. And the interesting card that I have in here that's really weird is Trick Shovel. The top card of either player's deck, you may discard that card or return to the top of the deck. I like this because it is a means of disruption to my opponent. In case they're about to draw into something nice, I could discard it, which I actually really like. I could run more Trick Shovels, but I don't want to. One's fine. But yeah, this is pretty much my take on the Evolution deck, guys. Comment down below if you feel like I should add something else or change things. I am going to change the deck later on because I haven't really played test the deck too much yet. But this is my take on it. Also, I know I'm all about trying to help people out with budgets, so by the time the video goes up, in the description I should have how much the deck comes out to be. Now, you can get away with running 15 Pokemon. You do not need Lugia EX. This is just something that I wanted to add because I felt like I needed something to hit just as hard as Golurk or even harder than Golurk, and it can set up really fast. So that was my take on that. A lot of energies you can find really cheap too. Double colorless, you can use the same ones from old sets. So if you have double colorless from old sets, you can use those as well, along with Switch and Ultra Ball. As long as the wording on the card hasn't changed, you should be fine. So that's pretty much my take on the deck, guys. Again, comment down below what you think. If you'd like to see more deck profiles, I'll be more than happy to do so. Once I acquire the cards, that is. And I'll be doing battles with these decks pretty soon. I do have videos scheduled for this week, so I will try to get I'll try to have some time to get some gameplay with this deck. But until then, guys, darkness.